Good evening and welcome to CYC News for the 26th of February 2017 and the 19th of Mashir 17:33 am. I'm Andrew Botros. In today's headlines, Syria ceasefire opens a door for political solution. Missouri man accused of trying an aid ISIS-inspired attack. Blair defends Guantanamo release for ISIS bomber. A 500-pound unexploded German war bomb has been found in an English harbour. Fruit and vegetables prolong your life if you eat 10 a day. And Wayne Rooney's potential move to China. To our top story, the United Nations envoy to Syria, Staffan de Mistura, says that the latest ceasefire in a war-ravaged country is holding better than previous ones, that the one in pause in fighting should pave the way for talks toward a political solution. A ceasefire between the Syrian government and armed opposition groups was reached in late December. It was brokered by Russia and Turkey, now seen as guarantors of the agreement, and despite some violations, it has held longer than any other since the war began almost 6 years ago. ISIS and Jabhat Fatah al-Sham, formerly known as Jabhat al-Nusra, are listed by the United Nations as terrorist groups and were not included in the ceasefire. At the Munich Security Conference in Germany, the Mistura told the delegates that the ceasefire is holding more than previous ones and, in my modest opinion, has been more chances to actually succeed than others. It's time to try again. Some intra-Syrian talks, United Nations talks on Syria, are scheduled to be in Geneva on Thursday. In Missouri, the United States, a 25-year-old man, Colombian Roberto Lorenzo Hester Jr., was charged with attempting to provide material support to people that he thought were ISIS-inspired terrorists. The U.S. Attorney Office confirmed an anonymous complaint tipped off that Hester was actually speaking to the undercover FBI agents who had invented a fake plan targeting Kansas City. According to the complaint, Hester, an U.S. citizen born in Missouri, said that he was down with the plan. U.S. Attorney Tammy Dickinson said in the statement, first on social media, that during face-to-face meetings with undercover FBI employee, this defendant repeatedly expressed his intent to engage in acts of violent jihad against the United States. The investigation began where the FBI was tipped off to Hester's social media post in which he suggested adherence to the radical Islam violence, according to the Department of Justice. In messages with undercover FBI agents, Hester said that the US government should be overthrown and wrote that he wanted to be global jihad. The undercover agent then asked the suspect to buy a list of items including duct tape, copper wire, roofing nails, which would bring some kind of destruction. Hester allegedly replied, "I'm ready to help in any way I can." Hester then delivered that list of items to the undercover agent, and the agent showed him several firearms and pieces of pipe set up in the manner of pipe bombs. Several times during the meeting, Hester affirmed that he was down with the plan, according to U.S. Attorney's Office. According to the U.S. Attorney's Office, he replied in encrypted text messages. He told the undercover agent that it was time their answer for their atrocities, and predicted it was going to be a good day for Muslims worldwide. He also offered to provide more gifts to the agents when he got paid. Hester was arrested on February 17 after another meeting with an undercover agent. If found guilty, Hester could face up to 20 years in prison. Still in the United States, an activist group calling itself Alt Lady Liberty have claimed responsibility for hanging a banner on the Statue of Liberty. They emailed the following statement: "Almost all Americans have descendants from somewhere else. Immigrants and refugees make this country great, and turning away refugees, like we did to Anne Frank, does not make us great. Refugees are welcome here, Muslims are welcome here, and immigrants are welcome here. And it is not just our ancestors. Every American knows that an immigrant or refugee. We wanted to send a reminder about America when we are at our best. The country that's a beacon of freedom to the world, built by immigrants, walling off countries. Our entire religion is against our values." That's what the Statue of Liberty stands for. The group also took off to Twitter, posting the image with a caption, "We must heed the words of the Lady Liberty, #refugees welcome." In England, former British Prime Minister Tony Blair has defended his attempts to secure the release of a UK citizen from Guantanamo Bay after reports that the former detainee carried out an ISIS suicide attack in Iraq this week. ISIS, on its media affiliates, claimed that Abu Zakaria al-Britani, a British citizen who initially went by Ronald Fiedler and later took the name of Jamal ad-Din al-Harith, detonated a car bomb at the Iraqi army base southwest of Mosul this week, while the spokesman of Prime Minister Theresa May said that there has been no independent verification that the attacker was a former Guantanamo dainty. An official told CNN that UK intelligence services believe with high confidence that the bomber killed near Mosul was former British inmate. CNN affiliate Channel 4 has verified the identity of the man through a family member as Al-Harith, a 50-year-old from Manchester. Blair confirmed that Al-Harith was paid compensation by subsequent UK government in 2010 for his time in the US detention facility, but did not confirm how much was given. Blair said that it was in a statement that the fact that this was always a very difficult situation where any government would have a balance, proper concern for civil liberties with the desire to protect our security, and we were likely to be attacked whatever course we took. Al-Harith spent more than 2 years in prison in Guantanamo Bay before being released in 2004 after pressure from the UK government led by Blair. The reason it did take a long time for their release was precisely the anxiety over the true affiliations. Former Foreign Secretary Jack Straw also defended the government decision, telling Sky News that the government at the time was being attacked from both right and left, suggesting they were being harsh and unreasonable for not pressing the US and UK citizens in Guantanamo. Still in the UK, crews working on the English harbour found an unexploded World War II-era German bomb containing 290 pounds of explosives. Fortunately, authorities were able to carefully tow it out of the harbour and into open water where it detonated. The harbour is in the process of a lengthy and expensive upgrade. A dredger was spotted at the bottom of Portsmouth Harbour early Wednesday morning. As the dredger was digging up the harbour mud, the bomb caught in its shovel. Captain Roger Redwin of the Royal Navy said these bombs are still dangerous despite being several decades old and sitting in the bottom of the seabed for such a long time. The German-made SC-250 bomb was used extensively in World War II, especially in London Blitz. It weighs about 500 pounds. Crews quickly locked down the harbour. The Navy diving team and bomb experts planted the warhead in the seabed and used charges to detonate the device from a distance. Before departing for his first trip to Baghdad as US Defense Secretary, James Mattis told reporters we're not in Iraq to seize anybody's oil. His comments appeared to be a departure from President Donald Trump, who since taking the office had made controversial comments about Iraq and its oil. A day after his inauguration, Trump said about Iraq, "We should have kept the oil, maybe we'll have another chance." He repeated the comments a few days later in an interview with ABC's David Moye. "We should take the oil. We wouldn't have ISIS if we did not take the oil." Trump has said in the US that has spent trillions of dollars fighting ISIS, but that effort could have been avoided if Americans just co-opted the terrorist oil supply after the US invasions. Critics have said taking Iraq's oil would have amounted to stealing from civilians and thus being a war crime and a violation of international law. On Monday, Mattis offered a different perspective from the president. "All of us in America have generally paid for our gas and oil all along, and I'm sure that we will continue to do so in the future. We're not in Iraq to seize anyone's oil." In health news, according to researchers in the UK, eating loads of fruit and vegetables, 10 portions a day, may give us longer lives. The study by Imperial College London calculated eating such habits could prevent 7.8 million premature deaths a year. The team also identified specific fruits and vegetables that reduce the risk of cancer and heart disease. The analysts showed even small amounts of health benefit, but even more is better. A portion counts as 80 grams of fruit and vegetables, the equivalent of a small banana, pear, or 3 heaped teaspoons of spinach or peas. And finally to sport, Wayne Rooney's agent Paul Stretford is in China to see if he can negotiate a deal for the forward to leave Manchester United. There are no guarantees of this success, and it's thought to be a deal which remains highly unlikely before the Chinese transfer window closes on 28th of February. But the fact that Stretford has travelled to China is a clear indication United boss Jose Mourinho would let the 31-year-old Rooney go. The England captain has also been made aware of the interest in him that the Chinese Super League from the time, although it was not shown in the clubs that Stretford has spoken to. However, 2 of the 3 clubs who looked at the most likely options for Rooney have been ruled themselves out. Beijing Guoan believed that the favourite team, Chinese President Xi, has been seen as one of the favourites to sign Rooney, but sources close to the club have told BBC Sport that they are not interested in signing him. On Tuesday, Mourinho said that he did not know whether Rooney, who has only just returned on training after a hamstring injury, would be able to travel to Old Stratford in a week's time. It is not known whether his latest development will affect Rooney's chances of being involved in Sunday's EFL Cup final against Southampton. Rooney's preference is understood to remain with the United for the rest of his contract, which expires in 2019. Rooney is United's record goal scorer and has won 5 Premier League titles and Champions League trophies since joining them as an 18-year-old for £27 million from Everton in 2004. The forward, who has only started 3 games since 17th of December, has said that he would not play for any other English club other than United or Everton. And that is all for CYC News today. A reminder that you can watch this news bulletin again throughout our week on YouTube. I'm Andre Botros, and from the CYC studios in Sydney in Australia, have a good night and God bless.